I'm going to show you how to make the best fried chicken recipes. We are making the viral Dave's Hot Chicken, the famous AlBaik crispy chicken, a loaded mac and cheese topped with crispy sriracha honey chicken and Algerian sauce, an insanely good hot honey fried chicken sandwich, and the delicious Korean fried chicken everyone loves. Each one is packed with bold flavor. If you love crispy fried chicken, spicy chicken sandwiches, and restaurant style fried chicken at home, you're going to love this. Without further ado, let's get started. Chef presents. First, we're gonna start with our hot spice mix. We've got here cayenne pepper, chili powder, smoked paprika, garlic and onion powder, MSG, salt, brown sugar, freshly cracked black pepper, and some of this Cajun seasoning. If you like the flavor to be extra hot, you can use more cayenne pepper. Now we're gonna use some of this to sprinkle onto the chicken. Dave's Hot Chicken is basically Nashville style hot chicken. So once this is properly mixed, I want you to have a little taste and get a feel of it. Just set aside now for later use. Now for the chicken, I'm using breast. Make sure it's nice and clean. Remove any excess fat. Now we don't need to wash the breast, it's nice and clean. But there are some other parts of the chicken which might require washing, especially if there is blood on them. So I'm just gonna put my hand here and let the knife do the work. You wanna slice it in the middle, especially if it's thick. You can use both the tenders and the breast, it's not a problem. I'm also going to use some of the wings. Now using a meat tenderizer, just pound this down from its thickest part just to even out the shape, and then just cut it in the middle. Pounding it down will also expand the chicken breast a bit, gives you more surface area to work with. Grab yourself a bowl with the plain flour. In that we're going to crack in 2 eggs. With your favorite hot sauce. I'm also using some of this Carolina Reaper sauce for more flavor. Good touch of our hot spice mix. Good pinch of salt. Pickle juice. Now give that a really good mix and make sure to bring everything together. Now you could use buttermilk, but I prefer this method. You know, it's more effective. Everything should come together beautifully. Now throw your chicken into that. I'll also go here some of the wings. Now using your hand, give that a really good mix and combine everything properly. Now if you're using buttermilk, just don't use too much of it. Alright, so that's exactly what we're looking for. Now we're gonna leave this to marinate for a couple of hours, alright, for best results. Now for our dredge of flour mix, here we've got the plain flour. In that we're gonna throw in the corn flour. In US it's known as cornstarch. It's gonna make the coating more crispy and light. Now for the spices, I've got here white pepper, black pepper, some of this Cajun seasoning, oregano and thyme, cayenne pepper, salt, MSG, some of the garlic onion powder, smoked paprika. We need to season everything properly for the Dave's Hot Chicken. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a bit of color on the flour. You know, that's exactly what we're looking for. Now for the Dave's Hot Chicken sauce, in with the mayonnaise. It was some of this chipotle sauce. It with the honey for a good touch of sweetness. Some of the lemon juice. Here we've got some of the hot spice mix, garlic powder, brown sugar, salt, a little pinch of MSG and black pepper. All go straight in. Mix it properly until everything comes together. If you need to adjust the consistency, you can use a bit of the water. Everything is beautifully emulsified. I'm just gonna have a little bit of taste. That is so delicious. Adjust anything if you need to. Our delicious Dave's Hot Chicken sauce. Done. And now before we start coating the chicken, turn up the heat to on medium high, and you want to bring the oil temperature to around 170 Celsius, and you want to maintain that temperature. I'm using a sunflower oil. You could use any oil that has a high smoking point, and of course it has to be a neutral oil. Alright, so our chicken has been beautifully marinated, you know, looks great. Here we've got our seasoned flour. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your chicken straight into the flour like so. Now using your dry hands, you just want to really press onto that chicken. And then just shake off the excess flour. So something like that we're looking for. That's a single coat, by the way. I'm just going to start placing it onto your plate. You want to really press that flour onto the chicken so it sticks together. Shake off the excess flour like so. Chicken, here we go. And really press. Look at the movement that I'm doing here. Do a few times for best results. Look at that. Shake off the excess. Oh, now these are ready to go into the hot oil. I'm just double checking the oil temperature, and we want to maintain it, alright? Into the hot oil, always away from you. Keep it there for a few seconds. Here we go. We want to let the chicken cook for around 5 to 6 minutes until the internal temperature has reached 75 Celsius or 165 Fahrenheit. You might have to turn up the temperature a bit. Like I said, it's all about controlling the temperature for the perfect crispiness, you know. You don't want the coating to go soggy. Now do not touch the chicken, just leave it in there. We're looking for a nice golden brown color on the chicken. Chicken looks absolutely beautiful. We got a really nice color on it. Looks absolutely delicious, you know. Are we gonna start removing the chicken now? Make sure to drain off the excess oil. I would prefer you to remove it on a kitchen paper first initially, and then just let the excess oil drain on a normal rack. There we go. Nice and crispy, you know. Now, of course, you need to clean the oil before you fry your next batch. Bismillah. This chicken is gonna be nice and crispy. So flavorful. Always maintain the temperature. Looks absolutely mouth-watering. Like I said before, one of the best Dave's hot chicken that you guys gonna try. Look at the beauty of this, you know, this is just a single coat. The secret is in the method, yeah? Let's start removing these. Beautiful color on them, you know, absolutely amazing. Our crispy fried chicken, done. Now in half of our spice mix, you want to throw in the hot oil. Make sure it's not too hot, otherwise your spices will just burn. Oh, this Dave's hot chicken is gonna be so delicious. Now brush the oil onto the chicken while it's still hot. You can do one or both sides, it's really up to you. It really depends on, you know, how much flavor you're looking for. And then just add your Dave's hot chicken spice all over the top. Alright. Don't be shy. Just look at that. Mouth is absolutely watering. Can I take a bite? Should I take a bite? Bismillah. Season the fries with some of the salt and this Nashville seasoning. You have to serve it with some of the fries. Come on. Alright, let's plate up our Dave's hot chicken. First we're going with our fries. Here we go. Bismillah. Now feel free to serve it with some of the pickle. And of course our sweet spicy sauce. Our mouth-watering Dave's hot chicken. Done. You guys gonna really enjoy this with your family and friends. First we're gonna start with the chicken. Here I've got potato starch. You could also use corn flour instead. We're also gonna use some of this plain flour. Now for the spices I'm using here salt, garlic powder, white pepper, black pepper, some of this Cajun seasoning, and a good pinch of MSG. All go straight in. A really good mix to that and set aside. Now for the chicken I'm using breast that has been cut into medium small pieces. Crack in one large egg. It's not my day today. And some of the flour mix that we made just now. A bit more black pepper. A little pinch of salt, and now using your hands you want to give everything a really good mix and combine this properly. Go to a nice light batter consistency, so that's what you're looking for. Just set aside for now. And now let's prep our mac and cheese sauce. Grab yourself a pan, turn up the heat to on medium. For extra flavor I'm gonna first render some of this pepperoni and salami. It's gonna add a lot of flavor into our mac and cheese. Just a light color on that. Or now just turn down the heat to low with your evaporated milk. Now for the spices I'm using here Cajun seasoning, white pepper, black pepper, garlic powder, salt, MSG, some of the cayenne pepper and paprika, nutmeg, all go straight in. A really good mix of that and bring the mixture to a simmer now. Now once the mixture has started to come to a simmer, we're gonna go in with our cheese. First I'm gonna throw in our American cheese slices. It's gonna add really nice creaminess to this, you know. Honestly one of the best mac and cheese that you guys are gonna try. Go with the mature cheddar. Also some of the mild cheddar. Today we're not gonna bake the mac and cheese. It's totally up to you. You know, if you want to bake it, you could use some of the mozzarella cheese, you know. You could also throw in some of the Parmesan cheese into that, but honestly there's no need. Mix it properly and make sure to melt all of that cheese. Smells really good, you know. You want to keep mixing this to ensure nothing sticks to the bottom. The gentle heat will ensure everything melts properly without sticking to the bottom. Now be careful when you're adding salt. The cheese already has saltiness to it, so something you want to bear in mind. For extra flavor I'm gonna throw in some of the sriracha. I really like the flavor of mustard and mac and cheese, you know, it's so good. Pickle juice from the jalapenos. Again, for a very nice depth of flavor, you know. Look at that. Beautiful. Amazing. Now you just want to let it cook, you know, until you have the desired consistency. Bear in mind, as it cools down, it will thicken. So for me, this is perfect, you know. Think about the pasta when it's gonna go in. You always want some extra sauce into your mac and cheese. So at this point in time, I'm just gonna have a little bit of taste. Very nice, tangy, spicy, cheesy flavor. So good. Now let's boil the pasta now. In boiling water, we're gonna add a good touch of salt. And in that, of course, we're gonna throw in our macaroni pasta. We want to cook this until they are super tender, so it should take you around 10 to 15 minutes. If you want, you could cook them to al dente, meaning it still has a bite to it. Make sure to keep moving them around so nothing sticks at the bottom, of course. Alright, so our pasta is ready now. Beautiful. Make sure to drain off the excess water. Nothing goes to waste here. We're gonna throw in a good knob of butter into that. Light touch of black pepper. I also like to use some of this oregano and thyme, just a pinch of it, and some salt, just a light pinch again. You can always adjust, you know, if needed. And now you have to be really careful, you know. Turn on the heat if needed. You want to mix everything nice and gently. You don't want to break your pasta. Wow, look at that. So delicious. That's gonna really enjoy this. I mean, doesn't that look amazing? Look at that. I'm just gonna have a little bit of taste. Wow, that is so good, you know. Like I said before, one of the best mac and cheese that you guys gonna try. Alright, now we're gonna fry our chicken. I'm using a sunflower oil. You wanna bring the oil temperature to around 160 Celsius. And this is how we're gonna coat the chicken. Add all the chicken into the flour. Make sure to combine everything properly, alright? We're gonna fry the chicken twice. First at 160 Celsius, and then we're gonna turn the temperature up a bit, and then we're gonna fry for the second time, alright? So shake off the excess flour, and this goes into the hot oil. Always away from you. Just leave it there for a few minutes, you know, there's no need to touch it right now. We're gonna let this cook for around 3 to 4 minutes. I'm just gonna agitate here a bit. Let the oil go all around the chicken. Smells so good, you know. And now we're gonna start removing this. So this is what you're looking for at your first fry. If you're doing a next batch of your chicken, then just make sure to get rid of these crumbs. And now you want to bring the oil to a high temperature, so around 175, 180 Celsius. So here we go. Slowly add in your chicken back. Alright, let's start removing it. So nice and crispy, exactly what we're looking for. We got a beautiful color, you know, can you see? Amazing. Now don't go crazy and start frying it again. Just drain off the excess oil. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. We have some of the sriracha. Use more or less depending on your liking. I'm also going to throw in some of the honey. A little bit of the chicken seasoning. A really good mix of that. Exactly what we're looking for. I'm just going to add a little bit of taste. Wow. Alright guys, let's play this up. First we're going with our delicious mac and cheese, of course. Some of our sauce from the previous video. I like some of the crispy onions as well. Our crispy sriracha chicken on the top. A little bit more sauce and the crispy onions on the top. That looks so mouth-watering. One of the best loaded mac and cheese that you guys gonna try. You could also serve this mac and cheese with some of the wings. Our mouth-watering, delicious mac and cheese done. Alright, first of all, we're gonna prep the chicken. I'm using a full chicken here. You want to cut the chicken right through the middle. Make sure to use a sharp knife for this. And again, using your knife, just cut it right through the backbone. Now you're left with these two parts. What you're gonna do is, first, just using a knife, remove the whole leg from the breast. Let's do the same with this one. You got this breast and the wing pad. We're just gonna cut it right here in the middle. Make sure to get rid of any excess skin and the fat. Now you can use the chicken with or without skin. It's really up to you. Now with this whole leg, if you want, you can keep as it is. Like I said, just get rid of any excess fat. Or now again, using your knife, you want to separate the drumstick from the thigh. Can you see in the chicken there is some blood in there, so you can always wash this, It's not a problem. So you can see we got around 8 pieces of chicken here. I'm also going to use some extra wings and thighs. So I'm just giving a quick wash to the chicken just to remove any excess blood, yeah? There's no need to add any salt or vinegar because we will be doing a marinade for this. Now for the AlBaik chicken, these are the spices that we're going to use. Now AlBaik uses their secret 18 spices. Most of them are just these. Have got cumin, coriander, white pepper, black pepper, lemon powder, MSG, mustard and ginger powder, garlic and onion powder, paprika, cayenne and red chili, some of this chicken seasoning, a good touch of this celery salt. Here I've got normal salt, and finally for the herbs I'm using here a mix of oregano, thyme and rosemary. Or let's give this a really good mix. Once you mix this, have a little taste. And now grab yourself a bowl, and now we're gonna make our marinade for the AlBaik chicken. Or first we're going with our hot sauce. Now when it comes to hot sauce, try to use something that you really like. You can use any Louisiana style hot sauce. And now I'm going with some of the sriracha chili sauce, again for more flavor. It was some of the lemon juice, and how can we forget some of the vinegar. Now for the spices, I've got here white pepper, black pepper, MSG, salt, some of the garlic onion powder, paprika, red chili. All go straight in. And finally a good pinch of sugar as well. And I'll give this a really good mix and dissolve everything properly. The salt, the spices, we don't want to see any clumps. Make sure this marinade is not too thick, otherwise we won't be able to inject it in the chicken. Alright, so that looks really, really good. Have a little bit of taste. Wow, absolutely mouth-watering. Alright, so our chicken is nice and dry. Here we got our marinade, and you want to grab yourself another bowl in which we're gonna place the chicken. Now to inject the marinade, this is what I'm using, a marinade injector. It's much better than using a plastic one. It will last you longer, and it does come with different needles, so you can use it to inject in a turkey, whatever bird you have. Alright, so first of all, we're gonna just fill this up with the marinade. You want to go nice and slow and fill that up properly. I'm just making sure it's flowing nice and easily. So let's do this. Grab your bowl. Or first let's start with our drumstick. You can see there's a bone right here in the middle, so we're gonna inject it right along that. It's best to do it on 2 sides of the drumstick, so one here and one on the back side. Yeah, you just need around a teaspoon on each spot, so be careful, don't go too crazy. All right, so I'm just gonna start placing it here. Now for this piece of chicken, which is with the wing, you can do 3 to 4 different spots. As you're adding the marinade, you will notice it will start to increase in size. And same thing with the wing. Just be careful and watch your fingers as well. Now if there's any leftover marinade, you can add some of it on the chicken. And now we're also gonna throw in our mixed spices, alright? Now carefully give this a really good mix using your hands. Just do it nice and slow so the marinade doesn't come out. Exactly what we're looking for. Now we're gonna leave this to marinate in the fridge for at least 3 hours. This will give you the perfect results. Now for the dredging with the plain flour, you could use a mix of flour and cornstarch. And now in with our mixed spices. A really good mix of that. And you should be able to taste the flour. We're going to serve our AlBaik chicken with this garlic sauce. Here we've got some of the mayonnaise, and now we're gonna throw in some of the yogurt, juice of fresh lemon, garlic, some of our mixed spices, a pinch of salt, freshly cracked black pepper, and finally some of the sugar. Cover and blend until nice and smooth. Now this is a garlic sauce that actually looks like a garlic sauce, yeah? Have a little taste and adjust anything if you need to. Now just leave this to chill in the fridge. It will mellow down the strong garlic flavor a bit, yeah? Quick and easy, delicious garlic sauce. Done. And now before we start coating the chicken, turn up the heat to on medium high, and you want to bring the oil temperature to around 170 Celsius and maintain that temperature. It's best to get a thermometer for best results. We can also check the internal temperature using this. So we go have our seasoned flour, our chicken that has been beautifully marinated. Here I've got some of the cold tap water and a plate where we're gonna place the chicken. Alright, so first of all you're gonna grab the chicken and it goes into your flour. Get a good coat of that. Now if you want, you can single coat it and then just fry it, or you can double coat it. Just shake off the excess flour. And this goes into the water. You just want to wet the outer layer of that flour few seconds and then just carefully remove. You can see the flour is still on there, and this goes back into the seasoned flour. And again, we're gonna give this a really good mix. You want a big ball so you can just move it around, and coat it properly and press onto that chicken. One of the best AlBaik chicken that you guys gonna try. And now you're just gonna get rid of the excess flour. So exactly what we're looking for. Just gonna start placing it onto your plate. Just try to use dry hands when mixing this. If you want, just throw a couple of pieces in there and just mix it properly. If you like extra crumbs on there, then obviously you need to do a double coat. So shake off the excess into the water, back into the seasoned flour. Now you can cook this in a pressure cooker. Like I said, one of the best AlBaik chicken that you guys gonna try. Now let's fry these. Or let's have the chicken always away from you. Just gonna hold a few sides. There you go. Do not overcrowd, just cook few at a time. And now you want to let this cook until nice golden brown. The internal temperature should reach 75 Celsius. Thigh and breast halves should take you roughly around 12 to 15 minutes. Drumsticks 8 to 10 minutes, again depending on the size. Wings will take you roughly around 5 to 6 minutes. Again, if they're a bit large, they might take an extra minute or so. The chicken need to completely submerge in the oil, alright? And you should also turn this halfway. Look at that, amazing. I've just turned them around. You need to keep an eye on this. So the chicken pieces, they are ready now. I'm gonna start removing them. We've got an amazing color on the chicken, exactly what we're looking for. Just make sure to drain off the excess oil. Oh, this AlBaik chicken is gonna be so mouth-watering. Like I always say, clean the oil, alright? Let's fry our drumsticks and wings now. Alright guys, let's play this off. First I'm going with some of these chips. Add our crispy chicken pieces onto there. Serving with this delicious garlic sauce. Feel free to serve it with some of the pickles if you like. Our delicious AlBaik fried chicken done. One of the best AlBaik chicken that you guys gonna try. Let's start with the chicken. I'm using a breast. You could also use thighs instead. First of all, you want to slice the breast in the middle. Place your hand on the top so it doesn't move and let the knife do the work. Now each breast will give you around 3 to 4 fillets. It really depends on the size. Now make sure to pound the breast from its thickest part just to even out the shape. And now you just want to cut the fillets in desired shape. Alright, that looks perfect. Let's season it. I'm using here some of the hot sauce as a binder. Now for the spices, I've got here paprika, cayenne, salt, some of the MSG, garlic powder, white pepper, some of the black pepper. All go straight in. Now using your hands, you want to give this a really good mix, yeah? Everything needs to be well seasoned for the best flavor ever. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Leave this to marinate for at least an hour. For our hot honey glaze, first I'm going with the hot sauce with a good quality honey. For a little bit more kick, I'm using red chili flakes, some of these garlic granules, natural seasoning, and a hint of this lime juice. Just gonna add a bit more freshness. Now give this a really good mix. Now have a little taste and adjust anything if you need to. A quick and delicious hot honey glaze done. Here we got some of the mayonnaise, ketchup, and sriracha. Throw in some of the lemon juice, some freshly cracked black pepper. Pinch of salt. Give that a really good mix. And that's our sauce done. Now we're also gonna serve our chicken sandwich with some of these fresh cucumbers. Here with your sliced cucumber, some of the onions, red chili, zest of fresh lime, and some of this lime juice. A light dash of this soy sauce. Pinch of salt and sugar. Give that a really good mix. These are gonna go perfect with our chicken sandwich. We're also gonna use some of the lettuce. Because we got a lot of flavor going on, we're gonna keep it a bit simple for our dredge or flour mix. I've got here black pepper, white pepper, some of the chicken powder, MSG, and salt. All goes straight in. A really good mix to that. Perfect, set aside. Alright, let's coat the chicken. Now here we go, our seasoned flour, our marinated chicken, and I'm using here some cold tap water. It's not ice water, I just got it from the cold tap. Alright, so this is how we're gonna coat it. First, the chicken is gonna go into this seasoned flour. I'm gonna get a nice coat of that, yeah? Just make sure to cover all sides. Shake off the excess flour, and this goes into the water. Just gonna keep it there for a few seconds. Just wanna wet the outer layer of the flour. Alright, don't shake it, yeah? If you look closely, the marinade is still there. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Now this goes into the seasoned flour again. Now we're gonna give this a really good mix. Make sure to use your dry hands, yeah? So you don't get flour all over your hands. Now if you guys want, you can do a second coat of this. It's really up to you. That's exactly what we're looking for. Just gonna start placing it onto your plate here for now. And let's go in with your next chicken. Again, I'm just gonna give that a really good mix. Into the water. Keep it there for a few seconds. Back into your seasoned flour. Mix that properly. Just mix that. Really press onto the flour. And then shake off the excess. Leave it onto your plate. The oil temperature needs to be around 170 Celsius. I'm using a sunflower oil. You could use any neutral oil. And with your chicken always away from you. And like I always say, do not overcrowd this. Alright, now we're gonna let this cook for around 6 to 7 minutes until the internal temperature has reached 75 Celsius or 165 Fahrenheit. We'll look for a nice golden color on the chicken. I'm just keeping an eye on this, you know, turn it if you need to. One of the best chicken sandwich that you guys gonna try, trust me. Chicken looks so delicious, you know. Absolutely mouth-watering. Nice and crispy, exactly what we're looking for. Drain off the excess oil and remove it onto your rack. Amazing. Going in with your next batch, always away from you. Here we go. Perfect color. Look at that, amazing. So nice and crispy, and just a single coat, you know. Here I'm just toasting some of the brioche bread with some of the butter. First I'm just going with a slice of brioche. First we're going with our mayonnaise. Good amount of lettuce onto there. Going with some of our cucumber. Of course add some of the onions as well. Our crispy fillet goes right on top. Our amazing hot honey glaze goes on the top now. If you want, you could dip the whole thing, but I don't want to overpower it too much. A slice of cheese goes on the top now. Melt that cheese. Could throw in some of the jalapenos if you like. I'm just going with some more sauce. Looks absolutely amazing. I'm serving our fried chicken sandwich with some of these seasoned curly fries and some of the leftover sauce. Honestly, one of the best chicken sandwich that you guys gonna try. Now for the chicken I'm using breast. Make sure it's nice and clean. Remove any excess fat. So I'm just gonna put my hand here and let the knife do the work. You wanna slice it in the middle, especially if it's thick. Now using a meat tenderizer, just pound this down from its thickest part just to even out the shape, and then just cut it in the middle. Pounding it down will also expand the chicken breast a bit. Now let's marinate the chicken. Here I've got ginger garlic paste. All go straight in. A good touch of MSG, salt, some of this white pepper, a good pinch of sugar, and finally some of the black pepper. Now using your hand, give this a really good mix and combine everything properly, alright. Massage the chicken. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Now leave this to marinate in the fridge for at least an hour. Now for the dredge, first we're going with our potato starch. We're also going to use plain flour. A mix of these two will give us the best crispy texture and exterior. Now in with the salt, white pepper, some of the freshly cracked black pepper as well, garlic powder, some of this MSG, and I also like to use some of this chicken powder. Give that a really good mix. Now there are different ways of coating your chicken for this recipe, but this method and process will give you the best results. Or once the chicken has been done marinating, you're gonna throw in some of the seasoned flour into that, crack in 1 egg, and using your hands you want to give this a really good mix. You want to ensure everything is mixed in properly. Honestly, one of the best Korean fried chicken that you guys gonna try. Exactly what we're looking for, just set that aside for now. Now for the sauce, first of all we're going with our gochujang, which is a Korean chili paste. We're also going to throw in some of the ketchup, it was some of this honey, use a good quality one. Good splash of light soy sauce, some of this garlic powder, you could also use fresh garlic paste instead. And for a little bit of tang I'm using vinegar, you could use apple cider or white. Pinch of salt, and some water just to bring everything together. Now you want to bring this to simmer and let this cook until it has a nice thick consistency, but not too thick. Our mouth-watering Korean sauce done. Now to fry the chicken, turn up the heat to around medium. So first we're just gonna bring the oil temperature to around 160 and 170. You need to make sure the chicken is at room temperature. You don't want to fry a cold chicken, alright? So you're gonna grab a piece of chicken, it goes into the flour, and you want to give that a really good mix. Now it's best to use a dry hand so you don't get flour all over your hands. And all you want to do is give that a really good mix. Just a good coat of that flour. There we go. And just shake off the excess. That's exactly what we're looking for. Just a single coat, alright? I'm just gonna start placing it onto a plate. Again, same thing. I'm just gonna coat that properly. You know, press onto the chicken, shake off the excess. Or let's setting the chicken always away from you. Keep it for a few seconds. There we go. Make sure not to overcrowd this. Let this cook for around 4 to 5 minutes and then we're gonna do a second fry. So that's exactly what we're looking for at this stage. There's not much color on it, yeah? We're just gonna remove this onto our fry rack. There we go. Drain off the excess oil and always clean the oil before you do your second batch. There we go. Always away from you. Now what happens is for this type of batter, if you just fry it once, the steam starts to come out so it makes it soggy. But when you fry it twice, you're just making it crispy again. Whenever you're making your fried chicken, it's all about consistency. If you're not consistent, you're gonna miss out on great results. Now we're gonna do a second fry. The temperature needs to be around medium high and the oil temp needs to be anywhere between 180 190. Alright, so it's gonna be a quick fry until we have a nice crispy, golden color. Again, always away from you. Again, make sure not to overcrowd this. Fry until nice and crispy and golden. So if you look, that's exactly what we're looking for. Amazing color on the chicken. It's nice and crispy, you can really feel it. So at this point of time, I'm just gonna drain off the excess oil and remove it back onto your rack. Look at that color, beautiful, amazing. Going with your next batch. Our crispy fried chicken is done. Looks amazing. Alright, let's coat our chicken and our Korean sauce. Get a good coat of that, yeah? And just take a look at that. Now to plate this up, first we're going with our seasoned chips or fries. Now your delicious chicken tenders onto there. Look at that beauty. Amazing. Like I said before, one of the best Korean fried chicken that you guys gonna try. Our amazing Korean fried chicken done. You guys gonna really enjoy this with your family and friends. Trust me.
Perfect.
Alright guys, I'm gonna try this. It looks amazing. Like I said before, one of the best Korean fried chicken that you guys gonna try. First I'm just gonna try some of the chips. Bismillah. These are perfectly seasoned, you know. I'm also slurring it with some of these jalapenos. Alright, let's try our Korean fried chicken. Just look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Bismillah. Wow. So delicious. Honestly, the sauce is 10 out of 10, you know. It is so good. Get some of the jalapeno. The sauce is a bit tangy, sweet, spicy. Has a really nice umami flavor as well, you know. Wow. The only Korean fried chicken recipe that you will ever need. Just take a look at that. The texture is perfect, you know, still nice and crispy. One of the best fried chicken ever. Honestly, this is so good, you know. I really hope you guys will enjoy this Korean fried chicken with your family and friends. Please do me a favor and get this video to 5,000 likes. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, make sure you like. Inshallah, see you next time. Until then, salam. Make for your mom. Make for your dad. Make for your family. Enjoy.